Here we have the Vertigo VSC-3, and it is a beast. I mean, look at the size of this thing. Look at it, how deep it is. It's one of the deepest units I've got, and it's built. I mean, honestly, I've got to put it down because it is heavy. Build quality to start off with, really good, solid unit. Quickly just pick these up. Now, one thing I always love about the Vertigo stuff is these switches. They are some of the nicest switches you will ever feel. Really good, quality switches. The type of switches you would find in probably a fighter jet or something like that. That's how they feel. The knobs, the pots, everything about it feels solid. The gain reduction meters, they are great. Quickly, God, this thing is so heavy. You won't be able to see it, but on the actual, you might be able to see it. No, you probably won't actually. But in a certain light, you probably would. But on these meters, written in the actual bit where the gain reduction comes down, the dB value is listed on the meter, and that's a really nice feature because you tend, when you're looking at it, you tend to look at the meter. Obviously, the lights going. So when you're looking at that, it's really nice that there is a value on that actual meter rather than just to the side. There is also one in between, in the center, but then you've got to look at what it matches to. Whereas this, you've got one right in there. So the actual gain reduction is visually seen as a value, which I really like. That's a really nice feature that didn't necessarily need to be in there, but it's a nice feature to have. So let's talk about the compressor and what we thought of it. So I've just used it over a couple of masters, and I ran some audio through it, just demoing it. Later today, I'm going to do A to B demo of it. AB being digital versus the analog. Obviously, the analog version, I always say this, but digital's coming up. Digital's getting there. So it'll be nice for me. It'll be nice for you to actually hear the difference between the plugin and the hardware. Albeit the plugin, I believe, is the VSC-2, whereas this is the VSC-3. But, you know, it's something to compare. So, using it today, what I found with it was really, really great sounding compressor. Really transparent, really lovely compressor. When I spoke to Nick about it, I tested it out, used it. I said to him, you know, Nick being the mastering engineer here, I spoke to him about it and I said, you know, what would it fit into our chain? Would you feel that it would be something that we would buy and put into our chain? Bearing in mind we've got an Alpha compressor, an Unfairchild compressor, a Maslek MLA3. You know, there's the top ends of compressors. So we was like, you know what? It is just another compressor. When you consider what we already have, it's never gonna be the Alpha's gonna be in, and we're gonna go, you know what, let's take the Alpha out, let's take the Alicia Alpha out and put the Vertigo in. That's not necessarily going to happen. But if we had $4,000 that we wanted to buy a compressor, this would be the one. I love the fact that on this one, for instance, it's got stereo link. Brilliant. Love stereo link. It's got sidechain filter up to 90 hertz, I believe. Let me just check. It was, yes, up to 90 hertz. What else was on it that was really cool? Yeah, you can switch it from peak to RMS for the metering. And yeah, and apart from that, it is relatively a threshold, ratio, attack, release, and makeup gain. It's a compressor. Okay. It sounds great. It's built so well. Like, honestly, it's built like a tank. is heavy as anything, which, you know, it only just, you know, it's when something's built like this, you can just look inside and see how good it's built. It looks great. I'd love to have the top off of this, but I won't. But yes, everything about it is quality. And, you know, it's only for, what is it, 4,500, 4,600? It's relatively cheap. Well, come on, 4,600 for a compressor is not cheap. But in the grand scheme of comparing it to alpha compressors, Fairchild compressors, you know, it's at that end of the scale of the affordable end for anybody really who's in high-end audio. I would say that it is definitely, if you had £4,000, or if you had 4,600, whatever it is, if you had 4,600 to spend on a compressor, and you were looking at like the Dangerous compressor, the Vertigo compressor, what other compressors are in that market? I mean, pretty much all of them. The Better Maker compressor. I would say, for mastering purposes, I would say the Vertigo is one of the best to get. Yeah, it probably is, and I will say that it's a very transparent, lovely sounding compressor. I mean, there's not much more to say. It's a great sounding compressor. The best thing for me to do now is play the audio demos, show you how it sounds, and show you basically what it's all about.